Friends, Operation Sindoor has been a watershed moment in India's rise, India's history. 100 years down, 200 years down, people will remember and study this event as the one that brought a distinct change in the direction in which this country, Bharat, began asserting itself. We know it was a response to a terror attack, but is it that the terror attack is something new? Pakistan has been doing it since the beginning. The very first terror attack which Pakistan did was in 1948, 22nd of October, when they sent their troops and their terrorists and took away the part of Jammu and Kashmir. How did we respond? We had the wherewithal. We could have got this vacated and our problem could have been solved. Jammu and Kashmir, remaining a nagging problem, has been bleeding the country for the last more than 7.5 decades because the mistake was committed at the time when Pakistan, their act of terror was not adequately responded to. And how could we respond? I think it's something that one would not like to go back in the history, but if you completely forget it, as the saying goes, you will be condemned to repeat it. So one has to have a short glimpse. Imagine our Bharat country after independence which was secured after countless number of people had given their life and blood. But who was the first head of independent Bharat? It was a Britisher, even after independence. Who was the first chiefs of our military services? Army, Navy, Air Force. It was all British officers. And when Pakistan moved their troops into Jammu and Kashmir, the British head of the state and the British military chiefs, who were the chiefs of our Indian military, they didn't let our troops move because at the time, British took the position that it was not a part of India as yet. And when the Maharaja of Hari Singh made a request for Indian troops because Pakistan had moved the troops, and our people, our leader like Patel and all were very keen on sending the troops. But Mountbatten and the military and the British chiefs of Indian military, they didn't allow that to happen, saying there's a foreign territory. You can't send your troops there. As a result, the Pakistan continued moving forward. Before that, it was the British Army officer Major Brown who handed over Gilgit-Baltistan to Pakistan. It was a integral part of Jammu and Kashmir. What happened at the time? The British officers, they decided, the unit officers, they decided to join Pakistan. They were at the time with Maharaja Hari Singh. It was they were deployed. They decided to go to Pakistan and they put Maharaja's governor into what they call protective custody. They arrested him, house arrest, and put the flag of Pakistan and informed Karachi, then capital, look, it is yours now. We didn't react. Instead of responding adequately, perhaps our then Prime Minister was such a great admirer of British, such a great Anglophile. He will listen to the advice, you go to UN and you have a problem. Well, you have your capability. Who will solve your problem? You have to solve your problem. And you have the capability. No, you go to UN. Went to UN and look at what happened. It continued all through. Pakistan has been committing acts of terror again and again. So what happened, Operation Sindoor, this is watershed because what happened during those 4 days, it has set a new direction, given a new message, the new direction of the trajectory of our movement hereafter. This will be a subject of a study, and it is a subject of a study by military strategists across the world. Not only India watchers, but all. Military strategists, because you start a war starts, but ending is not in your control. War has its own dynamic. It gets so messy. We have seen what is happening in Russia-Ukraine war, what is happening in Israel and Hamas. What happened When America got into Afghanistan, America got into Iraq, they all made it messy. But how short, swift, and decisive. Within just 4 days, you objected. India achieved its political objective. Now, this is a case study. Across the world, military strategists are closely studying it, trying to make sense out of it. It was also a demonstration of India's indigenous military capability, where we are today. 10 years back, we were not. Today, we are. And I'm sure tomorrow we will be still better. Our indigenous systems, our air defense, look at the way they swarmed with drones. But all failed because we had such a robust air defense system. It was indigenous, Akash, built by our people. So it also demonstrated India's indigenous defense capabilities. People talk about creating theater command, integrating the forces. We have not yet created operationalized theaters. But look at the exemplary jointness which our military displayed. All the wings of military. Army, Navy, Air Force, and even the paramilitary border security force. Each of them have their own system of communications, their own norms of functioning. We are trying to integrate, reach the jointness. But this operation, it demonstrated how all the wings of Indian Armed Forces, how smoothly they operated. This, again, without structurally achieving the theater command system, we achieved the operational jointness, which is an example to the rest of the world. How? The communication between the political leadership and the military leadership. Earlier times, suppose something happens, a report is given to the political leadership convenes a meeting, and the meeting, 10 people are sitting, each one will speak, sort of differently, no decision taken, military is waiting, what do you want? Okay, hold on. And you kept debating. And restrain. Why? Of course, they had, if you think that Operation SINDOOR could have been conducted 20 years back, 15 years back, perhaps it was not possible. It could have exacted a heavy cost on us. Because we have made in the last 10 years, we have developed the capability that we could do it. We know that autonomy, the clear direction to the military that you choose your target, you choose your time, you go ahead. But it is not as simple. The whole political leadership and military leadership, they have visualized situations. Political leadership takes the final call. We have to punish now. Now it is time. We have to punish at a scale which is effectively deterrent. Not like Balakot. That's not enough. Balakot happened about 5-6 years back. Today we are better equipped, more capable. Our response has to be more robust, more muscular. So, choose the target and destroy them effectively. And we knew that there will be response. When response will happen from your adversary side, enemy side, how do you respond? You take your call. Different level of escalation. Managing the escalation dynamics, again. And that too escalation dynamics between two nuclear adversary. All these years, at least for the last 3 decades, our leadership could not take a bold decision because Pakistan was a nuclear power. And today, the political leadership took the decision because we wanted to call its bluff. You have nuclear, we have. Should you choose? First of all, it will not be easy. You may have the weapon, but we may not be able to use it. Should you, you can always say, yes, there is some possibility that they might. That would lead to total annihilation of Pakistan from the map of world. Because we have achieved that nuclear triad, sky, surface, and under the water. All the three. Very few countries have, very few. So this nuclear deterrence, far, far superior. We don't have to. This war demonstrated, Indian military demonstrated that without making noise. Look at how our military leaders were composed, quiet. They were not making any statement anywhere. We had just, our communication system again is subject of a study. That how, that not only communication between political and the military, which was superb, so in time, and rather ahead of time, even between the military, between the government and the people. Periodic briefing, do it. Perception management across the world, superb, except for Turkey and Azerbaijan. No country, earlier, OIC country used to come out all the time in support of, no country. The countries like Saudi Arabia and all, with whom they have been surviving, they go to with the begging ball. They also told him, stop it, you have committed wrong. You have no business. We are not with you. So this operation will be studied for long. This operation has created a watershed moment in our national history, and Prime Minister said it is ongoing. We must appreciate what is this ongoing. We don't have to worry too much about Pakistan. Pakistan is there, it exists till it exists. One doesn't know when it will cease to. It is already imploding from within. Our challenge is on the northern border with China. We are not oblivious to that. We have to continue building our capability. Operation SINDOOR is building up that capability where nobody should dare to look at this country and try commit and act a misadventure. Leaders so far looked at this country from the perspective of India, not Bharat. And Bharat cannot be understood from the perspective of India. We know that India as a political state emerged after independence in 1947. It became republic in 1950. But Bharat as a Rashtra, as a nation, has been there for thousands and thousands of years. What was that? What was that which has kept this diverse country, regionally diverse, linguistically diverse, cuisine-wise diverse, costume-wise diverse? No country in the world can boast and claim as much diversity as Bharat had. And yet, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Kutch to Kamrup, we were one as a people. It was this which manifested in the month of January and February when over 66 crore people from all over the country and across the world, Bharatiya, came to Sangam and took bath. They all came from different, nobody invited them. What was that Bharat? Which was not created by any king or a ruler or an army or a military like other countries in the world, which retained its beauty, which celebrated its diversity and yet remained one. What was that Bharat? That if Bengal was partitioned on communal line, reaction happened here in Tamil Nadu when Bhau Chidambaram Pillai and others launched the Swadeshi movement, boycott of the British goods. When Jallianwala Bagh happened in Punjab, reaction happened here. When Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose with his IN, Indian National Army, Azad Hind Fauj, started marching from Singapore, more than 5,000 young Tamil youth went from here and joined him. What was that? So it was beyond understanding of those leaders because they were all educated in the British mode of education. They could not understand Bharat.